Friends from media, good afternoon. Welcome to today's regular press conference. Now the floor is open for questions.
RT, the Japanese government approved the fiscal year 2026 budget on the 26th, with the defense budget exceeding 9 trillion yen, setting a new record high. What's China's view on this? We noted the reports. Recently, there has been consistent criticism from the international community on Japan's military and security moves. Instead of reflecting on this and acting with prudence, the Japanese side is planning to again drastically increase its defense budget, which further exposes Japanese right-wing forces' malign intention of remilitarizing Japan and reviving militarism. Given the innumerable crimes Japanese militarists have committed, Japan's military and security moves have been closely watched by its Asian neighbors and the international community. The new administration of Japan, since taking office, has been notably accelerating the steps of military build-up and expansion, from the erroneous remarks on Taiwan and the threats of force to China made by Prime Minister Takaichi, to remarks of senior officials from the Japanese Prime Minister's office about possessing nuclear weapons, and then to effort promoting the revision of the 3 national security documents and the idea of altering its 3 non-nuclear principles. Japan is leaving the path of peaceful development, which it claims to follow, and straying further away towards a dangerous direction. Over recent years, Japan has removed the ban on exercising the right to collective self-defense, developed the so-called capability to strike enemy bases, strengthened cooperation on extended deterrence, and built its frontier island into front lines, which far exceeds the scope of its exclusively defense-oriented policy. The so-called defense and counter-strike have become pretexts that Japanese right-wing forces use to stoke public opinion, mislead the public, and breach the post-war international order and stipulations of Japan's constitution. These moves have raised high alert from the international community. The Japanese people are also victims of militarism. I noted some visionary people in Japan pointed out that increasing defense budget will not bring peace or stability. Recently, there have been rallies in multiple places of Japan, strongly protesting the Japanese government's military expansion policy. Some scholars also pointed out that the increased defense spending will be a heavy burden to the Japanese economy, which will ultimately be borne by ordinary Japanese people. China will work with all peace-loving countries to contain the dangerous moves of reviving militarism or creating a new type of militarism, and jointly defend the outcomes of World War II victory. Next one, please. Another question. On December 25th, Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson at a Foreign Ministry briefing criticized the actions of Japanese leaders visiting Yasukuni Shrine and suggested that a shrine be built in Tokyo to commemorate the victims of Japanese militarism. So, in the context where Russia and China are jointly committed to opposing the distortion of historical facts, what's China's comment?
We appreciate Russia's statements. The Yasukuni Shrine is a spiritual tool and symbol of Japanese militarist war of aggression against foreign nations. And the shrine honors 14 convicted Class A war criminals who bear grave responsibilities for the crimes committed during that war of aggression. This year marked the 80th anniversary of the victory of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. The Japanese side should face up to and deeply reflect on that history of aggression, take concrete actions to show rampant of the crimes committed and respect for the victims, and refrain from continuing down the wrong path. China stands ready to work with the international community, including Russia, to firmly defend the outcomes of the Second World War history and the post-war international order, guard against resurgence of Japanese militarism, and jointly safeguard world peace and stability. Next one, please.
谢发言人，人民日报记者提问。据报道。
It is reported that earlier this week, the Japanese cabinet adopted a new cybersecurity strategy, enabling the police and self-defense forces to take active cyber defense measures. In May this year, Japan enacted a law introducing the so-called active cyber defense, which makes clear that the Japanese government will preemptively infiltrate and destroy the cyber devices of so-called threat actors. What's China's comment? The Japanese cabinet enabling active cyber defense measures in clear terms represents a major policy shift from cyber defense to cyber attack. And this is yet another example of Japan, a defeated country of the Second World War trying to challenge the post-war international order. China is gravely concerned over this move. In recent years, Japan has built and drastically expanded its cyber forces. The active cyber defense, as shown in the name of the newly enacted law and strategy, is nothing but Japan's excuse to relax restrictions on active attacks. Japan has more than once blatantly waged aggression against other countries in so-called response to potential attacks, and the Japanese side owes the world an explanation. It is a prelude to Japan's attempts to once again break free from the international and domestic law and use self-defense as a pretext, a tactic employed by Japan in the Second World War to preempt cyber attacks. The cyberspace is interconnected with the interests of all countries deeply integrated. Safeguarding peace and stability in cyberspace is a shared responsibility of the world. China firmly opposes Japan's dangerous moves in cyberspace and strongly urges Japan to abide by the pacifist constitution and observe existing international rules and order with concrete actions. Any improper move by Japan that undermines China's sovereignty, security, and development interests will be met with a firm response from China. Next one, please. Recently, Morgan Stanley said in its Robot Almanac that China has pulled far ahead in the race to build humanoid robots, and the total number of patents issued by China over the past 5 years topped the world. It also highlighted China's cost advantage brought to the global humanoid supply chain. Can I have your comment on that? Innovative China has become a global buzzword for the year 2025, and China has broken into the top 10 of the Global Innovation Index for the first time, and has been, for 3 years running, leading the world with most clusters in the global top 100 innovation clusters. From the launch of large-scale AI model to the deep integration of AI and robots, China's achievements in sci-tech innovation have dazzled the world. Innovation drives China's robust economic growth, boosts global economic recovery, and enhances the well-being of people of all countries. China's technology and solution of building railways and smart ports have been introduced to the world, helping other countries build better infrastructure. China's Beidou services cover more than 140 countries and regions in such areas as disaster early warning, transportation, and agriculture. The China-Brazil Science and Technology Innovation Center has made clean energy accessible for remote areas. China also shared with Mongolia, Saudi Arabia, and other countries its technologies in combating desertification. And China's smart agriculture has enabled Egypt to better cope with water shortages and food security challenges. Pursuing innovation-driven growth and accelerating the cultivation of new growth drivers is one of the major tasks envisioned by the Central Economic Work Conference. Looking forward, China will continue speeding up its effort and enhancing cooperation in sci-tech innovation, providing more public goods for the world, and make greater contribution to global sci-tech and economic development. Next one, please. Any other questions? And this concludes today's press conference. Thank you.